Welcome back to another episode of the From Half Court Sports Talk Show with Darren and Rob. I'm your host Rob. This is my co-host Darren. We're back again with some more football talks and discussions. So today we're going to be going over the week 4. All right, give me 1 second.
Okay.
Oh no, we're still running. I thought the thing crashed. All right,
Hmm.
excuse me.
Oh, please, there's it. Problems
So
with
we're going to
going
be
live,
talking
right?
about. Yep, we're live on Twitch and YouTube if you guys want to check us out live. So like I was just saying, we're gonna be talking about week 4 of the NFL this week. Um, week 4 discussions. So let's just get right up into it.
Big bag. So
For,
the Thursday night thriller that had all of our eyes going crazy. What was up with Amazon keeping up showing us this injury? But Rob, you saw Tua go down the week before, fall down and get back in the game. Did you think he should have been out there?
Here's my thing. I think this is actually a reasonable discussion. The first thing I want to say is we can't keep blaming. I'm not going to blame the head coach for this. I'm not putting it all on him. He deserves some accountability for it, but he does not deserve the malice the media has taken to him. If I was a coach, I would have let him play. I gotta say, I gotta say that. I think all these takes they're saying that Tua shouldn't have played that game are are all in hindsight because we saw how bad the hit was, and we all know the way football players work, and just high level professional athletes in combat sports or physical sports, they all want to be out there. They all love the game. They love the physicality of the game, and we were always taught from kids to we're adults. And if you don't go out there, you're soft. Back in the day, uh, 90s, even mid 2000s to back to like the 60s, if you didn't go out there and played with a quote unquote dinger, you were considered soft and you might lose your job. So that's inbred into the culture of football. Now, is the game changing a little bit and we're getting way smarter? Yes. But in the core of these athletes, they know if you don't go out there, you're looked at as soft. And this was also a prove it year for Tua. So this is a big year for him. Not a contract year, but it was a big year for him and for his football career to determine if he's going to be a starting quarterback for 10 years or if he's going to be a backup. That's what the type of year this was for him.
Mm.
Um, and also, one of the biggest criticisms of Tua in the media, specifically in the offseason, was there a lot of people are trying to call him soft as a quarterback.
I don't
So
think
I
no
could
one called him
see
soft.
I can see from his mindset, he wants to go out there and play football.
All right, let me jump in on this one real quick. Uh, I don't think anybody ever called Tua soft. I don't remember anybody calling Tua soft personally. He had that bad hip injury with Alabama, and it took him a while to get back to football. We all understand that, but it'd be like that. I don't think there was ever a time where we saw him get injured and we thought he wasn't trying to get back to the game. Maybe he wasn't the most prepared with Brian Flores under Brian Flores' system. I will say that. Um, Ultimately, getting back to the game though, they did have a scapegoat with the doctor who cleared him, the neurosurgeon, the independent neurosurgeon, neuro doctor that was with the team, I believe. I believe he got fired, so we'll see what happens with that. Um, I wonder how much time Tua is going to miss. I personally wouldn't play him for the rest of the year. That was that bad of an injury. The problem was that Amazon kept him playing it, and everybody kept seeing it, and it was one of those crazy things. One of those crazy things, definitely. But like Rob said, I don't think you can blame just. It's a lot of blame to go around. Personally, that's the way I would look at it. It's gonna sound terrible. Uh, I blame obviously the doctor that cleared him last week. To go back into the game. I blame obviously there's some blame for the coach. As much as we like Mike McDaniel, there's some blame there. Uh, But there's also blame on Tua on that play. I wish we could pull up the play real quick and not actually see him actually hit the ground because I don't want to be a hypocrite and say they kept on playing it and then me play it. Um, how do I put this? Tua rolled back into pressure on a rollout. And to me, that's a no-no. To most quarterbacks, that's a no-no. And that's what made me the most upset. Because when it first happened, obviously I'm with everybody else. Um, it like freaks you out. Like it's like, oh my goodness, I don't know what's like none of us has ever seen that happen. Uh, but if you've seen a rollout on a court with a quarterback, especially with a left-handed quarterback like Tua, he rolls out to the left. I don't know. They've never played this play from downfield, so we can't really know what he saw. Maybe there was nothing there, but if there was nothing there, you're trained to either run with the ball a little bit further and get out of bounds, or you throw the ball out of bounds, point blank, period. And to me, it was really like devastating to see it. It was one of those things that like when things can go wrong, it goes wrong. He rode out, and that was cool. He was looking for a play downfield. I don't know if it was down there ultimately, but somebody was coming back in on him. He saw the pressure. He shook the first dude. And thing is, when you keep going that way, there's somebody that's going to hit you eventually. There's very few quarterbacks that can get out of that situation, and they will be lucky to get out of that situation.
Yeah. So, but biggest things, biggest. We wish the best for Tua. We wish
100%.
that he gets better soon. Hopefully, he's able to play football again. But one more thing before we move on from this, if he wants to, which I don't think he will. I think he could sue the NFL for like a ton of money if he really wanted to. From the neglect that this of this case. Um, like you mentioned, the Dolphins used the independent doctor. I feel like as a scapegoat.
Mhm.
Um, I'm glad they didn't put his name out there because that probably wouldn't look good for
I think
whoever
they
he
did.
works for. They did. Oh.
I think
I
so.
mean,
I'm
I,
not
I
too
bet
sure.
people can figure it out, but yeah, but I think he was used as a scapegoat. I think this is huge for football, and this might
Big.
put football. eh, this is a big deal, and that might cost him a ton of money. And honestly, it might cost him a ton of potential athletes. Um, there's
Possibly.
no way a parent, male or female, sees that injury and says, "Okay, yeah, I'm gonna let my son play football." I guarantee a lot of kids aren't playing football because of that. Go play
Uh,
basketball, go play baseball, go do something different. That's because that's a scary injury.
yeah, it's
That
definitely a
happened to a
scary game.
grown ass
Oh,
man. Imagine that happening to like in pee wee football, high school football. It's just a really scary to see.
yeah. But yeah, we definitely wish to a speedy recovery. It sounds like he's on a good pathway back. But like I said, I personally wouldn't play him the rest of the year. I don't want to see. I personally don't want to see him. I don't want to see a quick return and him not be at his full health, essentially. And he already has a lot of injury history. But anyway, I want to get
Well,
back to you. I want to get back to the game, the actual game of
one more thing
Thursday
before we
night.
get back to that.
Yep.
I disagree with you. I actually do want to see him come back. Just from the standpoint, this is still a really good football team that has really high aspirations as a
Yes.
team, and I think they can still do a lot of damage in the playoffs if they're able to make it. So I would
Uh,
like to see Tua back.
yeah, but I don't want to see him back too quickly. I don't want to. I just don't want to see him rush back, personally.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Uh,
All
but I
right,
want to see him
so
back, of course. But the overall game, I want to know your opinion on what you thought about the Bengals that night and the Dolphins.
I feel like Joe Burrow's shaking off the rust. That's which is a good thing for the Bengals. But the problem I thought their problem last year was their offensive line.
Hmm.
This offseason, I heard that they put a quote $70 million into this offensive line, into new
Hmm.
offensive linemen. This offensive line still doesn't look good. This offensive line still didn't look good on um, last Thursday.
Yeah.
I think the Bengals could definitely win the division, the AFC North. But I do not think they're a Super Bowl team, like a Super Bowl contender, like I did during the offseason. This team is looking like they would maybe win a wild card game, then lose in the divisional, or they look like they're going to lose in the division no round of the playoffs, the second round of the playoffs. That's how I feel
Uh,
about this team right now.
since we're 4 games in, do you got them winning your division right now?
I like Baltimore way better than them,
Thank you. Me
but
too.
but I still think the Bengals defense is better than Baltimore's.
Yes, they're playing better. Hundred
Um,
percent.
there's a lot of
Um,
mistakes happening on that Baltimore defense.
yeah, 100%. Um, this was a good game overall, though. Teddy Bridgewater came in and did as much as he could with what he had, and obviously he had a lot of weapons. It's not like this team doesn't have the weapons. Um, but it's just like one of those. I think one after one of those injuries, like you really just it takes the life out of your team. So, and the Bengals were at home; they were still riding high a little bit, even if they did like see that type of. Obviously, some energy was taken out in general. It's easier for the home team that's not team effective, if that makes sense, right?
Hmm.
So that's how I felt about this game overall. And yeah, I 100% agree with you. Their offensive line is still a problem.
All
But
right.
going into the next topic. So yesterday, the Steelers and the Jets played, and halftime, I was sitting here with Rob, and I was like, I'm pretty sure they're going to sit Mitchell Trubisky because at some point, if he keeps losing them games, people aren't going to blame Mitchell Trubisky. They're going to blame Mike Tomlin, and Mike Tomlin is not that type of guy. So, Rob, I want to ask you first off, what week did you have Kenny Pickett taking over? Was it this year at all? And then, what did you think about his performance yesterday?
The exact week I had him taken over around week 4 or 5. My exact quote was, if we're like 1-3, 1-4 after week 4 or 5, you got to put the kid in, and that's obviously if Mitchell Trubisky wasn't playing good, well, I should say. Um, I did not see him coming in at halftime. I thought they were gonna let him actually play the whole game. Then after this game, if he didn't play well, that's when you make the move. So to answer your question, around week 4 or 5.
What do you think about his performance yesterday compared to Mitchell Trubisky? What do you think he did for y'all
Compare,
team?
oh my God, he first of all he gave us an it factor that Mitchell Trubisky didn't have. The biggest thing I heard about Mitchell Trubisky, analyzing wise, was he's playing like a quarterback who knows his job can be taken at any moment. I feel like he was playing very conservative. Um, where as soon as Kenny got in the game, it felt like he was slinging that ball. He did have 2 interceptions in the game, but
3.
I'm sorry, yeah, correct. They had 3 interceptions, but I don't think 2 of them were his fault. There was the deep ball to Chase Claypool. Chase has to come down with that. Um, he just got to come down with that. That was it. Hit him right in the hands. He's right there, and he's allegedly a top 3 receiver in the league. That's a whole nother thing. But and also, the one that was his fault was the Pat Fryermuth one. Yes, that one did hit him in his hands, but he threw that shit mad high
Yeah.
for it to be like a sit down route like it was. So that's just on him, and that ended up losing the game. But he did exactly what Mark Tomlin wanted. He gave us a spark. He gave us a glimpse of hope. All offense basically didn't look stale. My thing, people have been shitting on our offensive coordinator. Now I forget his
Canada.
name. Yeah, Matt
Canada.
Canada. And yes, I understand it from last year's perspective and the year before that's perspective. But this year, I don't have a lot of problems with his play calling. I thought it was just Mitch missing throws, not being aggressive. As soon as Kenny Pickett got in here, he started slinging that ball around. Yes, and he was just way more aggressive with his decision making, throwing the ball downfield, getting it to his playmakers.
Hold on.
Uh, getting it to his playmakers. Maybe
100%.
that's just youth, him being a brand new quarterback in there and just filling it out. But just from a mindset wise, I liked what he did for our offense. I feel like it was way more open. It felt way more free. My chest didn't feel tight, and every time Mitch threw the ball, my chest feels tight, like
That's wild.
like I need a stretch. He's
That's-
Kenny Pickett. He got out there. He felt like he was way more loose.
Okay, 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 okay,
But here's the
okay.
thing, Darren. That there's I know I'm going on for a while.
Yeah,
There's two that's a double-edged sword, and we kind of saw it. Yes, he was way more loose with the football, throwing the ball around, but yes, he did technically turn the ball over 3 times. So it is a double-edged sword, but I think if he gets a full game to play with a complete full week of preparation for that game,
yeah.
I think he's going to look 10 times better.
Okay, let me reel this back in real quick. So he did have the 3 interceptions, and that is a real thing. But a lot, George Pickens, most of those receptions were thrown to him by um Pickett. So I will say he might be able to find more of a connection with the receivers than Mitchell Trubisky had, because Mitchell Trubisky didn't have a connection with any receivers really. I think he also has obviously the better deep ball than Mitchell Trubisky. Mitchell Trubisky's never really had a really great deep ball consistently in the game. He's really like 10 yard, 20 yard guy. He's really good at that. But anything else than that, he's really not hitting it, not really looking for it, and he usually runs the ball, which is usually a good thing. But Kenny Pickett with the touchdowns that he got on his feet, which is I'm pretty sure he had both the touchdowns for them in the game. Um, I think that also like cancels out right there that he can do that too as well as Trubisky, and that it like you said, it opens up your whole offense, and I think it made your team a lot more excited. But they did get the loss, so I wanted to ask you this next. What did you think about the overall game? I want you to go onto the Jet side as well because Zach Wilson did come back off of an injury. This is our first time seeing him this year. I want you to go in on that.
Our defense was way better from a pass rush standpoint. I know we had at least. This is saying we only had 1 sack. I feel like we had 2 or 3. But I feel like we did a good job of getting after the quarterback. Um, I don't know what you just said, but I think you said this was Zach Wilson's first game back.
Yeah.
I think he looked really good for being his first game back against a pretty solid defense.
Mm-hmm.
If did he throw any interceptions?
Believe too.
2. I don't remember who they were 2. Maybe one was Minka. I really like the receiving core in New York Jets. In my opinion, our weakest part of our whole defense is our corners. They're not bad corners; it's just the weakest part of our defense. But I thought Corey Davis and Elijah Moore kind of ate us up. For the most part, we kind of contained Garrett Wilson, but I think Corey Davis and Elijah Moore ate our defense up and gave us a lot of problems.
Yeah.
I
Um.
also want to talk about the Sauce Gardner George Pickens matchup. Today I got to watch. I watched a little YouTube video where it just showed George Pickens versus Sauce Gardner every single play, and George Pickens was giving them work. Was giving him some work. Well, as soon as Kenny came in, Sauce started having a lot of problems with him, and they were really physical with each other in the run game as well.
Yeah.
George Pickens didn't bully him or anything, but
Sauce was that guy.
made him work for it. Sauce Gardner is a crazy good corner, and they have a pretty good solid run game too. They shut our run game down. We weren't able to run the ball like you would want us to be able to.
Yeah, if I'm right, Sauce had a good game on Deontay, right?
Um,
I think he did.
Statistically, I think if you go back and look at the game, that specifically that first half, you could argue Mitch wasn't throwing the ball to people because he doesn't think they were getting open. So you can argue he took him out the game.
Yeah, he took him out. That means do his job. But yeah, 100% agree with you. I've been saying about this offensive weapons on the Jets, bro. they're legit, bro. Like I respected Corey Davis from the Titans. Um, Michael Carter and Brees Hall. That backfield is just stupid because they both can do the exact same thing, and it's not like they're Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, but they could do the exact same thing. It's the perfect switch of pace. Garrett Wilson, we know him from O State. He's a legit problem. And the craziest thing is that we will both argue that Zach Wilson's biggest rapport is with Elijah Moore, and we
Based off yesterday, yeah.
also even last year, going back to last year. So we're going to see more of that. And I like it because I think Zach Wilson definitely struggled in the beginning half, but I think he played great down the stretch, like really good down the stretch.
All right. I got one question for you about the Steelers. The Steelers are 1-3.
Hmm.
So here's what I would say. Well, here's my question for you. The last time we had a significant quarterback change in Pittsburgh was Ben Roethlisberger back in 04. Alexa, turn on lights.
Hmm.
Okay.
I'm sorry. When it was Ben Boxer back in 04, Tommy Maddox got hurt. He came in the game. They lost that game. They didn't lose another game to the AFC Championship. With Kenny Pickett at quarterback, what are your expectations for the Steelers offense now? Are they good enough to actually carry us to the playoffs? Get like a 7-6 seed? Do you see us
Hold on now.
making noise in the playoffs? How good do you think this
Uh,
offense is now?
I gotta see y'all schedule. I do think y'all a lot better than Mitchell Trubisky being there, and I like Mitchell Trubisky. It's not never no disrespect to Mitchell Trubisky. I really don't. He Mitch Trubisky. He definitely took the Bears to the playoffs twice, and that is not to go ignored. It's just he just who's the better option. We all know what the NFL is. Um, yes, y'all can make the playoffs. I gotta see y'all schedule, but yes, y'all offense just opened up. That was y'all weakest point. Now your offensive line is still a problem. So we'll see how that goes. I think they were protecting honestly Pickett pretty well. Um, but we'll see how that goes throughout other games. But I saw a lot of injuries on the defensive side yesterday. Minka went
Oh
out,
man,
came back. Cam Jordan, no, that's not
Cameron
Cam
Hayward.
Jordan. Cameron Hayward. He went out for a little bit. I'm not sure if he returned. Um, obviously TJ's still out. I think it was Highsmith or somebody else was running to the sideline. It was a linebacker. Um, was running to the sideline. So there's things that y'all got to do. When you say carry, I think your defense should still be the thing that you depend on to carry. But yeah, 100% y'all can make noise in the playoffs. 100%.
All right. And I'm glad you said the thing about defenses. I'm going to read off to you our next, what is it? Our next 5 games on our schedule. The Buffalo Bills, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Dolphins, the Eagles, then we have a bye week.
Good luck. Good luck, because that is tough.
That's easily our toughest part of our whole schedule.
Yep. But we gotta keep it moving. We're gonna go to the next topic. Bills and Ravens. So this ended on a crazy. This was actually a really, really good game. But this ended very crazy. Baltimore in their analytics decided to go for it on fourth down, and at the end of the game or on OT, I believe they went for it. And wow, okay. You know what? They have one of the best kickers in the league. Rob, do you think they should have kicked it, or actually, fuck that? We got to come up with a better question than that. Obviously, we know they shouldn't. Isn't that not even hindsight? Do you feel like this jeopardizes Lamar's legacy or his contract in these moments? Did you hear the question?
Yes. Obviously, they should have kicked the field goal. That's also a hindsight call. Um, the fact that that's Jim Harbaugh, right?
John,
That's John Harbaugh. Okay.
I
The fact
believe.
that
I'm
you're
really
right.
confused too.
The fact that John Harbaugh went in the press conference and said he made that decision off analytics, I think is the biggest problem. I remember. I'm pretty sure it was last year when the Ravens lost to us. They were on the yard line, and they threw like a little screenplay, a little smoke screen by the tight end, where he just shoots out straight on the line on the touchdown, and Lamar missed him by an inch. Uh, Tomlin was saying the thing about playing the Ravens, it's easy to know what they're going to do because they base everything off analytics and makes them very predictable. Because they base everything off analytics. So all you got to do is look at the analytics and say, okay, this has a 60% chance of working. That's what they're going to do. I think that's a bigger problem than going for it. I don't necessarily have a problem with going for it because if you watch the play,
They have somebody open
they well
to the left of Lamar when he first drops back. There's somebody open in like I wouldn't even call it the flats, but well maybe the flats.
maybe the flats.
Yeah, the flats. Yeah, we'll call it the flats.
If then after that he has somebody immediately in his face, so he's backing up. Preferably in that situation, you
Step
want
up.
Lamar, if he doesn't see what he wants immediately, to make something happen with his legs. I think it's just bad luck on their part for how the play actually ended up playing out.
Mm-hmm.
Football tells you take your points. You're supposed to have a good defense, but I get it too, man. There's 4 minutes left with Josh Allen with the ball. You're gonna try to win the game right here. You're not trying to play scared. So I don't think it's a big deal. I think it's just a hindsight argument because no matter what happens, it's a hindsight argument because that's not a. It's not like it's a hard
Well,
field goal.
here's my problem with it all. Is the fact that you as a player, and that's the only way I could think of it as, not even a fan sometimes. As a player, I can't live with that person. I can't live with the fact that you kicked this or we didn't kick it and you didn't at least give the defense a chance to win the game. That's how I feel. Like you gotta give your defense a chance to win the game.
I'm
Is it
not.
Josh Allen? Yes, but they was containing them pretty much this whole. Josh Allen throwing for 213 is not a lot. Him rushing for 70 yards is decent. Is really a lot, but in the last minute, I don't know if he's or a couple seconds. I don't know if he's really rushing that much in that moment. I don't know. I feel like you just took the. I don't know. I feel like you took it out of your defense's hands.
Yeah. You should take the field goal or put Lamar in a better situation so he can like try to run that in, if possible. That's the only thing I can say about it.
Hmm. Okay. We can move off that one. That was a great game, though. I will say that was a good highlight. Especially the rain definitely made the change for that game. Um, there were some injuries on both sides, but it was really good to see J.K. Dobbins back out there doing his thing, seeing him
Definitely.
back healthy. But we're gonna move on. Broncos and my Raiders. Thank God. Thank you. We finally got a win. We finally got one. But
So I
Rob, I
got a
want.
question for you for this one.
Okay, go ahead.
I've been very critical of your defense this year. Um,
Mhm.
I wouldn't say critical. I've been very skeptical. That's a better word of your defense this year. Um, this you guys finally got your first win of the season. Do you think this is a you guys are headed in the right direction now before this game started? You feel more
Specific
confident in your
a team overall or specifically defense?
team overall?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So I was very confident in our defense in general because I think our offense should be putting up this amount of points every week. Personally, I think the Broncos is really good defense. Um, but I think we should be putting up this number every week, 28 points a week. So to say that, I think our defense is not playing bad because they haven't given up. They haven't. Nobody's blown us out yet. And if they have, it was more so because of the offense, not the defense. That's the way I feel. Um, but yeah, I think we're definitely heading in the right direction. And it literally is one thing, just one difference. We ran the ball in the second half. We ran the ball for 2 halves. And I don't understand why we weren't doing it before. I think we just wanted to be the sexy team and get Derek Carr MVP. I personally say fuck all that bullshit, win games, and run the ball and run the ball and run the ball. We ran in this case. I think Josh McDaniels' game plan was all right. This is the best passing defense in Denver Broncos going into this game. They were the best passing defense. If you looked at all their other games, nobody put up no damn 32 points on them. Everybody was 15, 10, crazy slow scores, right? We were the first ones that actually blew the top off the roof, and I think we might have set the blueprint for people saying run the ball versus the Denver Broncos, and you got a good chance. As for that, their offense, I'm just gonna go over to Denver real quick. Their offense is not good. They're not good. I'm questioning the hire of the coach already. It's not looking good. He looked like he's trying to bring over, or it's either not looking good for him, or it's the weapons he's missing. He might be really missing that person that could take the top off the field, and I think that might be a problem. I think the rapport with Russell Wilson and his receivers is just not there. It's to me, it's not there.
Are you not high on
As
KJ Hamler?
one reception, one target,
I mean, it was a bomb.
he might fly. That's cool. Um, I don't know. I just something about this offense is not clicking. And
And
you can say here's the thing. You can say it started clicking yesterday because this is probably the first week they put up 20 plus points, honestly. So,
also, what on top of that, what hurts this offense? Javonte Williams had I think they said he had an ACL and LCL tear.
PCL, I believe. I can't. I
I thought
think
it
it
was
was
both.
PCL. I don't. Yeah. I
Well,
don't know.
whatever it is, he's out for the season now. Um, I think that officially cripples this offense, and this team is probably easily should just kind of tank and to get a good draft pick at this point.
No
The
such
only
thing
good
as
thing they
tank.
have is a good defense. Um,
It's,
because their run game is shot to shit. Melvin Gordon is limited as of right now, so he's probably going to have a limited practice this week. So they're probably going to be using their third string running back a lot this upcoming week.
isn't it crazy that the Seahawks are still healthy and their offensive line actually looks really good though?
I'll be 100 with you
Isn't
though.
it crazy? Like he
I haven't
left the
seen any Seahawks
Seahawks.
football.
So what?
I said, I'll be honest with you. I haven't watched any Seahawks football. Maybe like a play
Well,
or
if
two.
you go to, they're going to be on our quick takes, but they put up like 41 points this past week.
Yeah, but who did they put up 41 points on?
Detroit.
Yeah.
My question is, would they have done that if Russell was there?
Probably.
Exactly, bro. Well, that's just a question that we're gonna have to leave. But I'm just happy that we ran the ball. I'm happy. I hope that's not just a 1 week thing. I hope it's a consistent thing because Josh Jacobs is that guy.
28
Like
carries is a crazy amount of carries for the NFL. Your
he's
at highest you might see Nick Chubb get 20 to 25. So that's a big deal.
he's that guy, and I'm thinking we got Zamir White to be that guy too.
All right.
I'm
Hey, you got
super
anything else to
excited
say
about that
about
one.
the Raiders?
I'm excited
How you
about
feel
the
about
win.
Darren Waller right now? I know you were saying like you don't like how he's been playing this season so far.
Yeah.
I don't know how many drops he had yesterday, but he had a couple. Um, how do you feel about Darren Waller? How do you feel he fits in this offense? You think Josh McDaniels can make him more prominent in this offense? Because he seemed to be a prominent staple in John Gruden's offense. John
Yeah.
Gruden liked him a lot.
Yeah, and he's still out there, so he's still gonna get the targets. I just don't know what's going on with Darren Waller. Something is he sat out. He missed a lot of time, but that's we're in game 4. It's not really an excuse, and I'm not saying 3 of 5 is bad. I'm not saying that at all. Um, I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying I think the first 3 games, especially the Tennessee game, it really like there was something not there. Is to me, the way I was sold on the Raiders offense is that going into any game we can beat any team the way that we're supposed to beat that team. We can run the ball a la because they have a good pass defense. Um, maybe they saw something versus Tennessee with the tight end because he got some targets and he dropped the ball. I don't know. But I think that's what we're going in with. And we just gotta make sure we be able to adjust. I don't know how to explain it. But hopefully we're a good team. I don't know.
Do
Hunter
you
Renfro
still
still got
feel
to come.
you still feel confident in making the playoffs?
I'm confident not ending last in our division because the Broncos are there. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. Yes, I think we can make the playoffs. We're trending up. The Chargers are staying steady, but they're hurt. And if I'm just being 100% honest, they're hurt at their offensive line, and that's a problem for them right now. Justin Herbert played with a bad offensive line his first year. Then they went out and got Corey Linsley and Rashawn Slater, and now Rashawn Slater's out for the year, and I think Corey Linsley might have missed last game or he might be back. I'm not too sure,
Hmm.
but that offensive line don't look the same. So it's bad for him with the pass rushers that we have in our division right now. So I do believe that we can end up we there's no reason that we shouldn't end 3, but we can definitely end at number 2. The Chiefs are more than likely still taking the division.
Gotcha.
Uh, Speaking of the Chiefs, they played last night, and Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes did Patrick Mahomes like things. Let's put it like that. Uh, so my question to you, Rod, is was this um just Patrick Mahomes being the new GOAT, or was this revenge on the Super Bowl? Because that Super Bowl he did not have an offensive line. So was it revenge or was it just Mahomes being the GOAT?
I think this might have been Mahomes being the GOAT of the modern day quarterback. Um, I here's the thing. The reason Tom Brady's not is the GOAT all time is not because of his arm strength. It's not because of his athletic ability. It's because he's a good quarterback in the way he sees the field.
Priest that.
The pre snap. The biggest thing I've heard about sports, since I was a kid, is 90% of all sports, even at the highest of levels, is mental. And I think it's just the way he approaches the game. Now, here's the thing: the way the quarterback position has evolved, Patrick Mahomes has the ability to become the GOAT from a talent perspective, but you could argue that about a lot of quarterbacks. I don't think Patrick Mahomes is going to be able to collect the same amount of hardware that Brady has. I think Brady's on like a crazy legendary status for having 7 Super Bowls. For example, I'm gonna compare him to Bill Russell. Bill Russell, athletically, probably couldn't compete with any of the guys today from just from a scientific standpoint, but he dominated his generation at a high level. And I think Patrick Mahomes is just more modern. He might win 1 or 2 more Super Bowls, but he's never going to be able to collect the hardware. To answer your question completely, I think that was just Patrick Mahomes being Patrick Mahomes, doing Patrick
Okay.
Mahomes things.
So I think it had to do with a little bit more of the revenge factor. It was back in Tampa Bay where the Super Bowl was won, and he did not have an offensive line in that Super. It was like really, it was kind of actually pathetic to watch because everybody was waiting for him to pull off some magic shit, and he couldn't do it obviously because the line was not there. Last night, not only did he have a line, he had a defense in the first half that stopped the run clearly because that is incredible. I'm now looking at these stats. They didn't go nowhere. Um, so he had a defense that played fairly well in the first half, and then he had a really good running game. Like those are two solid things to have in your arsenal compared to that Super Bowl. And of course, they spread the ball around. That's what Patrick Mahomes does with this new offense. But I think it had to do a lot more with the revenge factor and to show people like, yo, it wasn't like that shit wasn't a fluke. But let me show you what the fuck I can do real quick. And it was like, all right, all the weapons are there. And I was getting home, so I caught the first half, but I was getting home and I turned it on probably like 10 minutes, 15 minutes in. He had threw that pass to CH in the back of the end zone. I lost my mind. I lost my mind. I legitimately lost my mind.
Talking about
It
the
was one
Super
of
Bowl.
those like I can't like it was one of those like this is so good I cannot stand it. Like this is too much. This is too much. I freaked out for a good 2 minutes because it was like there is no way. There is no way. There is no way. I was like, he's done. He's done. He's dead in the right. And then how? This guy, how did he get loose? I lost my mind when I was at home watching this. And he's that guy. He's magic. Clearly, he's clearly that guy. But I think um they were on a different. They were floating on a different mental yesterday.
How should I say this? I wasn't very confident. I was very skeptical of the Chiefs coming into the season, especially offensively, of how the
Mhm.
offense was going to look without Tariq Hill being there. The biggest thing that made Patrick Mahomes famous is how crazy his arm is downfield. Being able to throw bombs so accurately. Um, and they do have fast guys now. They still have fast guys in what's his name? Not Valdez. Yes, Valdez Scantley and Sky Moore. But they
Mhm.
are not Tariq Hill. They're not the complete receiver Tariq Hill is. And I thought possibly this team would be very limited. And I believe they also lost their first game of the season. So I had the first game.
Mm-mm.
Oh, they won. Okay.
Yeah, they
Well,
beat them.
they lost to the Colts. The Colts suck. But they look a lot better than I thought they did. And I will have to say, after 4 games, I think the Chiefs will be fine. Um, I think Patrick Mahomes is actually going to develop better as a quarterback that Tariq Hill's not there anymore. He's making, and that, when I say that, I mean making good decisions, reading defenses, and all that stuff. I think he's just gonna be a better quarterback.
Yeah, excuse my facial expressions. I remembered that we played them. The Raiders played the Chiefs next week. I already knew that, but I did not know it was Monday night, and that's not something I can handle.
Yeah, y'all
I
need to win
can't.
that game too.
I can't handle Monday night. I can handle Sunday like during the day. I can't handle Monday night.
Why? Because you know the whole world's watching.
Yeah, bro. Like not only that,
Shit. Then y'all got. Oh, this is a Chiefs schedule. I was about to say they got 2 tough games after that. Bills 49ers.
we have to beat these. We have to show them something. That's all I want. Because last year we got smoked by these niggas. Not fair. It's not right. It's not right. Monday night is gonna be a doozy. It's gonna be a fucking doozy for me. But we don't. Oh damn. We might definitely do the show next. We were gonna definitely do the show Monday before Monday Night Football. Because if y'all might not see me the week after. I need a week to recover probably, unless we win.
No
But let's
matter
get into
what
these quick
though.
takes.
No matter
So
what
what?
though. Looking at your schedule after this Chiefs game, you guys have 3 wins on 4 wins on your schedule, 5 wins on your 6 wins on your schedule, minimum straight. So if y'all don't bounce back from that,
Ooh,
uh,
hold on.
I don't know about that, y'all. Darren,
See, I don't know about the Jags. The Jags are surprising me these days. I'm gonna
you
be
should
100
still
percent
win
honest.
that football game.
It's at the Jags.
So
at Saints and at Jags, we should not travel back to Vegas in the midst of that. We should stay somewhere in the South, that South region.
Yeah.
That's what I think, personally. But that's just me. Quick take. So, do we got time for it, or should
Yes.
we get up out of here?
Nope. I can read them off to you.
All right, let's do
First
this.
quick take. Do the Cowboys bounce back?
For
When
the
Dak's
Cowboys.
there. I'm sorry. Do the
Oh,
Cowboys bounce back with Dak coming back? That's what the question was.
um, so they're already doing good, right? They're winning with Cooper Rush. So, do they stay on a steady path, right? Hmm. That's a really good question. Their defense has to carry them. If their defense has been playing really good with Dak not being there, so their defense needs to start doing this exact same thing when Dak comes back. If that's the case, then yes, 100% they can still win games.
I have this feeling. I have no. This is a gut feeling. I have a feeling as soon as Dak comes back, they're not going to be winning football games. I just have that feeling. It's going to, and not, I don't have any statistic. I don't have any anything to back that up. But going off my gut, I have this feeling that as soon as Dak comes back, I don't think he's going to play bad, but they're not
I'll
going to
tell
win
you why.
football games.
Can I tell you why?
Go ahead.
So all the offenses that they've been playing before, the Bengals struggled the first 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
They're starting to get a little bit of a groove. The Giants, they're the Giants. Like, you could beat them. They mollywopped the Commanders yesterday, like, no question. But now they're about to play the Rams, who need a get right game. They need it tonight, for real. But they need a get right game, and they can get it versus the Cowboys. The Eagles' divisional opponent at Eagles, like, we know what that is. That's going to be a great game, first off.
Sunday night.
And the Eagles are going to smack them. I'm sorry to say it, but they're going to smack them niggas. I'm not sorry. Not sorry to say it, because I don't like the Cowboys. The Lions have been playing really fucking well. I don't know if anybody's been paying attention. I know they lost to the Seahawks, but they put up 37 points. And if you can do that versus the Seahawks defense, you can give me 20 to 25 points versus the Dallas Cowboys, I believe. Especially, especially if they get healthier. And then
They
I
put
think
up
you switched the
45.
schedule, so I'm not going to keep going. But I think yeah. Love it. Yeah, I think those are 3 games right there that they can lose. But I'm gonna leave that alone. We can keep going. What's the next quick take?
Do the Eagles still look like the best team in football?
100%. 100%. The only problem is that they're taking some injuries. Darius Slade just got hurt. I believe he's going to miss some time. And I believe they lost 1 or 2 offensive linemen yesterday. So we'll see what the thing is with that. But I still think they're a beast of a team. 100%. Undefeated.
Right now the Jalen Hurts looks like the NFC MVP. And honestly, at this rate, no matter how good of a season Lamar has, if the Eagles finish with like less than with like 3, 4, 5 losses, he might win MVP just based on that. And he's probably gonna win most improved player too.
Most improved player. Definitely. Oh, yeah, we'll see what MVP. We'll see. Next.
Last quick topic for football is Rams 49ers tonight. What's your prediction?
I got a really good fucking game. I'm gonna take the 49ers.
Uh,
I love the Rams though. I love players on the Rams.
I'm gonna also take the 49ers. I think their team at this point in time is better all around. So I like the 49ers in that game as well.
Okay. Next topic.
A couple rundowns with the basketball. Karl Anthony Towns is in the hospital with an infection, so we wish for him to get better.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Contract things. The Grizzlies gave Steven Adams a 2-year contract extension, so he's at least going to be there for the next 2 years. That should be good. I like him with that team.
One of the best big men in the game, definitely.
And the quick take is the Heat lock up Tyler Hero for 4 years, $130 million. $120 million of that is guaranteed. A quick stat about Tyler Hero. Him, Tyler Hero, and Jordan Clarkson are the only two players last season to score 1,000 points coming off the bench. So here's the question, Darren. Do you think the
Mhm.
Heat did the right thing of paying Tyler Hero?
Absolutely. It's not even a question. The things that, yeah, no question. Yeah. Why? Who else were they going to pay? Did they pay Bam yet? Bam and Jimmy?
Jimmy probably already got paid, but I'm not sure about
Yeah.
Bam. Bam should have got paid
Bam,
though.
Jimmy, yeah. Bam, Jimmy, Hero. That's my core. Let's build with it. Let's put some people around it.
I agree with
100% work
you.
with
I've
that.
always been really high on Tyler Hero. I think he's a potential superstar in the league. I wouldn't be surprised if 2 years from now he's a top 5 player. I wouldn't be surprised at all.
Mm, mm. We'll see. We'll see.
All right. You got anything else that you want to talk about before we wrap up?
Let's go Raiders versus Chiefs. 'Cause y'all gonna see me panicking all week about this.
And I'm rooting for Kenny not to lose to the AFC Championship game, just like Ben. All right. Thank you all for listening to another episode of the From Half Court Sports Talk Show with Darren and Rob. Let us know in the comment section down below, who do you think who do what let us know in the comment section down below what you guys think of this past week's football games. Also make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. We'll see you next Monday. Peace out.
Peace. Y'all stay up.